Express, and I must say it's a pleasure having you both on our show.
Thank you.
And first, considering that selection day is an adaptation of a book, I'm going to start with the very easy one. Have you read the book?
I haven't.
You haven't?
No, I was. I asked if I should read it, but so my character is not exactly in the book, so it would further confuse me if I read the book. So I was told not to read the book, and I was told to just take the scripts at face value and go basis the script.
Right. Actually, that was one of my questions, considering that I have read the book. And yeah, your character, at least from what I could see of the trailer and the screeners, is a very interesting update or a take on what happens in the book.
Sure.
So when you got the first brief, what was your first reaction?
Well, the first brief was very simple. I was just told that, look, so there's a voice inside all of our heads, which tells us maybe we should do it. It's like this inner voice. So I have to be friends. So Manju is a character who's basically looking to belong, because he sort of is out of his comfort zone at home, because he's not really connecting with his father or his brother. He's not really connecting at school with people, because he's sort of inclined towards science, but he's having to play cricket to kind of fulfill his brother and father's dream. And he's kind of having tiffs with Javed's character as well. So I think Manju is kind of looking to belong, and he's looking for a friend, a companion. So I actually become, I'm more like Manju's friend. I'm the inner voice in his head who kind of tells him what to do, what not to do. And he sort of, without being very specific about it, and then he picks and chooses as to what he wants to do from there.
This is your first first project that's coming out. So how do you feel making your debut on a Netflix series?
I feel extremely privileged, to be honest, to be a part of the story, because I love the story. I think, the way the characters are written and the way, the arcs for all the characters go, it's something that was very unexpected of me. I come from theatre, so, I've done a little bit of all those Shakespeare things, so like when I read the script and when I read the book, it was something that it really excited me. And coincidentally, Tess, thought that I should audition for this character, and there were a few rounds of auditions, and so yeah, I'm extremely lucky and extremely happy, extremely excited also, and just waiting for it to come out, and just hoping that people also accept it the way we want them to accept it.
And this is your second association with Netflix in itself. There was Love earlier. Like both of them deal with sexuality and the kind of awareness that we generally don't see on main screen, the sensitivity. And also it's about two men finding their way, just like that. So did you, again, was it a conscious choice?
So what happened was that I sort of at this one point, a few years ago, I started getting managed by people's opinions. So when people said me, you should do this, you should do that, which happens to all of us, like we kind of get swayed by what people think we should or should not do. And I sort of had lost that instinct in me, which I think I've had from the time I started working, which kind of told me that this project would be the right project for me, and and etc. etc. So and I was at that point, where I was not sure of myself. But when this project came along, the first thing I thought to myself is, nobody in the industry so far has offered me a project like this, and probably nobody will. And nobody has even would imagine me if seeing my past work in a role such as this. So how wonderful would it be for an actor to take on a part like that and to play it convincingly, And the director seemed very, when he came, he was very sure. I always look at the surety of the director, the maker, the creator who's making it. It doesn't matter if he goes downhill with the project. I'll go happily downhill with him as long as he does it confidently. So when the maker is so confident, you know you're in good hands as an actor. Which is the same with this TV series as well. I mean, from taking enough time with script readings, interactions between characters, and making it delicately and in the best possible way. So the idea is, as actors, and you're in a very safe and creative environment, where the product which is being put out is exceptionally good. We're just hoping that the audience will like it as well.
Saying so many things about it.
Talking about your character, again, I'm not sure if you really thought about it, but it again is a very it's not the usual, you know, rich boy stereotype that we see on screen. It's not just that he's rich, but he also has his other side. He you know, he sees life more than cricket, and there's also the sexuality awareness and all that. So what one thing was exciting about the character for you?
I think the most exciting bit for me was that there were shades of me that I could connect with Javed, but I think he's, in a wholesome way, a very different person than who I am. So that was really exciting for me to, you know, to kind of join the dots, you know, between Javed and me. And in terms of, so that excited me the most.
So, considering the selection day is about cricket, can I just ask a fun question? You know, most interesting memory, cricket memory. It could be playing, watching, anything.
Well, I was in school and so I won the match for my team, and the best part was that I got dropped thrice. So when I was hitting the ball like you know how in a dhobi ghat you're actually washing clothes are literally like there's balla ghumaing and 3 times I got dropped for a catch, and I was the last batsman, so I was like hit out or get out. And yeah, so and I remember when this memory is so etched, beautifully etched in my head. And the last ball, I hit a massive shot, and the guy at the boundary dropped it, and it went for a 4, and we won the match. And then the entire team came and they picked me up and all that. So that was a terrific. And actually, there's a scene like that. There's a lovely scene, like something really close to that in this series as well.
Right.
My memory is very different to this actually. It wasn't heroic at all. So I remember I used to study in Delhi Public School in Delhi, and you know, I was Delhi Public School.
Oh, okay.
So I was there was a cricket match going on. There used to be this tournament, and you know, I was trying to hit the ball really hard, but none of the shots were going anywhere where I wanted them to go. And you know, everyone like in the team started making fun of me, and we started laughing. It is heroic in a way, but you know, it's also a little stupid that I just blindly hit one shot and it just went to the boundaries. And I started feeling that one day I'll play for the Indian cricket team after that, which didn't happen. But that's my memory. You know, I think it's silly, but it's one of the fondest memories that I have.
Okay. And so I want to ask both of you this. You know, there's this entire debate on how censorship should be brought to streaming platforms as well, and how there's a lot of negative criticism for that school of thought. So, what is your opinion on this entire thing? How do you see streaming platforms in terms of content and in terms of reach?
I think it's the responsibility which each streaming platforms kind of undertakes in themselves. Like the fact is that I think Netflix in itself would not put out content which would necessarily, you know, completely be which would hurt sentiment and stuff like that. The idea basically is to not curb creativity, but at the same time to put out good, interesting, engaging and responsible content. And I think the audiences are very smart. At the end of the day, if they feel this one platform is just sensationalizing content and putting rubbish, you know, just for the heck of it to get viewers or views, after a while you tune out, because the audience has got so much of you know, choices now in terms of what they want. So they'll only be actually drawn to something engaging, and they'll actually pay their hard-earned money to subscribe to something which is actually a interesting platform. You know, so nobody's really has that kind of time anymore. So even if people do try to censor, I mean, if they get this whole debate with censorship and all, I don't think it'll make much sense, because the idea with platforms, OTT platform, is that the gate has been unlocked for creativity. So, and people are enjoying that.
And also, I think there are a lot of guidelines as well. So, you know, if a viewer is watching a show, they know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's so much of publicity. And, you know, Netflix makes it show that, you know, they know what they're selling. And, you know, they give proper guidelines that this is the show, this is the age, this is the kind of language, this is the kind of sexual nudity or stuff like that. So people know what they're about to watch. So it's not that they're unaware of what they're getting into. So I think that's the reason why it's an extremely fair and, you know, very, I think, a wide situation, to be honest. You know, that if you
and it's a paid service. So
exactly.
if you think it's not your cup of tea, don't pay for it.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, and all the very best with selection day.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to watching the rest of it.